Hello, my name is Passion. I am a charismatic Catholic, and I have 2 questions for you. How much do you love God, and how much are you willing to sacrifice? Okay, let me explain. Well, let me explain myself, actually. I am a charismatic Catholic, and I accidentally turned charismatic. It was not in my own nature to find charismatics. What I actually ended up doing was praying a lot. I was trying to find my prayer life and the best way I can add prayer into my life. And I wanted to love God in the way that everyone else did, entirely with their whole hearts. But I didn't know how to get there. The one thing I did know was that I needed to work on my prayer life. I knew how to pray and grew up praying. So therefore, if I know how to do this, then it's possible. It's very much possible to have a close relationship with God. And that's all I wanted. It's all I needed. Or at least that's what I thought. God had a different plan. A more beautiful and intense plan. But he has a different plan for me. So it started with a video. I was acquiring my prayer life. And then I come across this video. And it was How to Pray Like the Saints, mental prayer, by Gabby After Hours. He's on YouTube. Very good channel. And I didn't think much of it, except the fact that, well, I was learning and actively praying. And I thought, well, I want to pray like the saints. This looks like something I could try. And I did. I did mental prayer, and I was shocked. I didn't realize using your imagination in prayer could be something so beautiful. What I didn't realize is that when I was praying, I was going to heaven. I didn't think I was. I thought I was getting beatified visions. But the more I prayed and the more I continued on my journey in the Catholic faith or my own charismatic prayer life, I started to realize that I was walking around in heaven. And the only reason that I knew that was because I was told to. I was told by Jesus, I was told by God. Jesus, God the Son, and God the Father. And then more things started to line up. Things that I didn't realize would line up, but they did. I started to see more, to talk more, and I started to realize I was actually in heaven, talking to people in heaven, talking to saints in heaven. And I was amazed. Don't get me wrong, this glory and this grace, I would have kept it in, and you would have never known. But that's not the role that God has for me. And so I am putting this out there. So I didn't actually look to be charismatic. I did say one thing to God. Well, I found a lot of stories in which people gave messages to other people. And someone did that to me, and I thought that was the sweetest and most purest thing ever. I would like to do that too. Except my idea of giving out messages was more on the lines of, God loves you. And that was it, really. I didn't think he would have this plan for me. I didn't think I would have these gifts or graces either. And so I ended up being charismatic. The funny thing is, well, I suppose it's not funny, but I was unprepared. I was unprepared in the way that I needed to learn quickly what it means to protect myself as a charismatic. When you become charismatic, you open doors with God, spiritually. However, temptations become more spiritual. And sometimes they can take on a physical aspect. I have been attacked before because I did not know how to protect myself. I've had body paralysis. That happened twice to me. And then on top of that, I've had inducing fear, in which I was scared out of my mind for 2 hours. And it wasn't me. It was definitely evil, but it was not me. And from there, I had to learn quickly how it is to protect myself and what it is I need to do. I already had habits ingrained to me as a Catholic. But this time, I was charismatic. And I was going to war. Being a charismatic, I did not realize how much of spiritual warfare I was actually doing. I had to keep up my soul. I had to do consecrations. I had to make sure Mary and Jesus and God the Father took control of my prayers. I had to make sure that I went to the sacraments. I had to make sure I was praying. And I had to make sure for every single message that I was praying continuously to make sure it was from God, from Jesus, from heaven, and not from the evil one. Because the evil one also likes to imitate messages or subtly mess it up in some way or some form. Discerning has become a best friend of mine. I've also had to always keep holy water and holy salt with me. Just because I am charismatic. It's weird. The more charismatic I become, the more I have prepped myself to spiritual warfare on a level that I did not know I could be at. And it is spiritual warfare. Oftentimes, I feel that the closest thing to people understanding charismatics is actually priests who are exorcists. Those are the people who I've learned the most from protecting myself. It's weird. But people view charismatics in a way that's a little froofy. I'm not going to be, if I'm going to be honest. I viewed charismatics like that as well. I thought they were a little concerning, a little strange. Are you sure you're hearing the right messages? I will stick with traditional prayer. Because I thought the same thing as well. Except now, I turned charismatic. And it is much more different than I thought it was. All the research online did not really explain charismatics to me. If anything, it was more confusing. And so, I looked up to the teachers that I could. Saints, exorcists, mystics, people who fought the evil one. Because the reality is, I am not dealing with this. If I'm going to be charismatic, I am going to be charismatic. I just want to pray. But if I'm going to be messed around, okay, fine. Fine. I will pick up my armor. I will do spiritual warfare. And so, this is my battle. This is my battle. And if I'm going to be completely honest, I would have never posted this. The problem is, I know I'm not the only one who's going through this. I know I'm not the only one who is charismatic. I know I'm not the only one who has researched all this and can't seem to find the answers. My mission is to share what I've learned. My mission is to bring more people closer to God. Because there are more of us, and there will be more of us. You know that book, Devotion to Mary, in which St. Louis de Montfort talked about these saints crazier than anything you've ever seen, with gifts so amazing, with a rosary in one hand, and in the other they build the church? Yeah, that's us. My future saints. We're going to war. And we're going to be saints. And it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be fun. But we get to go to heaven and we get to be with God. And so yes, I could have kept this hidden. I could have just not even told anyone that I deal with spiritual warfare on a daily basis, that I am charismatic, that I give messages to people, that I know things that I probably don't understand why I know them, but I do. And it's because I love God. And it's because I love God that God knows that I will help the people that He wants to go to heaven. And so I can't stay hidden. As much as I want to, I can't. It's going to be painful. People are going to despise me. I will be criticized. And I will have friends that I might lose. And my own faith might turn against me. Yes, charismatics has that bad of a rep, actually. That's okay. Because I know there's people like me. And I know they need this stuff. I know they're dealing with spiritual warfare. And I know they're trying to fight as well. So my friends, my future saints, my saints of the next generation, my name is Passion. And I want to be part of that group. Let's go together. Into the arms of God and to heaven, the ultimate destiny. Let's go together. It's not going to be easy. And it won't be fun. But there are fun stuff invited in there. There's consolations and desolations. I'm sure God knows what He's doing. But let's do it. Let's do what we've always said to do. Let's be saints. Goodbye.